Are you done playing a victim? Because if you found this video here today, then most likely you've been playing victim for a little while now. Perhaps a very long time. I don't know exactly how long you've been playing, but you have been playing. Because it comes out in the form of overthinking, thinking a little bit too much about that relationship perhaps that you're in, or with other people, how they don't treat you right, or that you're not being respected perhaps in the way that you want to be respected, or the overthinking in your work situation, whatever it is. They're all kind of symptoms of us feeling like we are a victim. And the more that you also think about something, the more you create of that, because you feed into it, and with that you are creating it. If you found this video today, and that means that you're ready to shift from being a victim into being a conscious creator. Now, what is the difference here? So when you've been a victim and you are in that space where you feel like something has happened to you, perhaps you don't think about it on a mental level, but it feels as if something has happened to me. And only an outside source can give me what I seek. I need these people to treat me in a certain way. I need the situation to go in a certain way. I need this, I need that. It all arrives from us actually feeling like a victim. Feeling like what is going on within the energetic level within us, within the emotional state, is something that shouldn't be happening. And the only way to change it is if this outside thing makes this change. What we fail to realize, however, is that it's never about an outside thing that can make this change. The only way to make this change is if you give it the permission to be as it is, because through the acceptance of this, it naturally changes, because this state is always changing. Unless we come into the picture and create a personality persona that worries and get anxious and thinks about things in a certain type of way as to always be distracted from it, as to always have it sort of remain the same, because in the attempt of being separate from it, of separating ourselves from this through our overthinking, worrying, or whatever victim type of behavior it is that you have been experiencing lately, through that it actually remains the same. Because the only way for this to shift, to make that change that we seek, is if we don't try to make the change, because it's always changing by itself. And so, this persona that I am, this Andreas, is always trying to perhaps make this certain thing happen, but in the trying to make this happen, I am living life through a identity of a person that just creates separation to the awareness of something that, when allowed, simply changes by itself. And it never actually changes as long as I try to make it change through the changing of who I am to make people react to me in a certain way, perhaps, or by having the success in whatever thing it is that I'm trying to have success in, or whatever issue it is that you're being faced with in this moment. The funny thing is that even through the thinking of this thing that you're having your attention on, like, no, this is not right, or being worried or anxious about this thing that I mentioned now, that you're actually feeding it and creating it. You're giving your power away. You're giving it away because you see yourself as a victim to what you're feeling. And something that I talk about a lot on my channel is that in a lot of cases, we don't even understand what it is that we're feeling. We're just so caught up and used to being in the program of the feeling. The program makes you numb and unable to feel the emotion that preceded it when you've lived through the program long enough. But you can be damn sure that these overthinking patterns, these attempts at separating ourselves through the personality and its way of doing things, originates from an uncomfortable state within here. Something that we believe that we are a victim of. This one time, or this many times in my past, as my parents reacted to me in a certain way, or as a certain situation occurred, I felt unsafe to experience this. Because when I was being one with this, I was loud perhaps. I like to sing as a kid. I like to express myself or whatever it was. I like to tell things straight. I like to, play around, be a goofball, whatever it is that came naturally as a wholeness and completeness of who it was that you used to be when you were connected to this. And then perhaps there was someone that got jealous, someone that didn't truly own and accept themselves, that was not allowed to do what you're doing in this situation when they were young. And so they're just repeating that same programming that was done onto them now also onto you at that younger stage of your life. And so this makes us separate from this emotional state. Oh, I feel shame, I feel this anger, I feel this guilt, or I feel this part. Sometimes we're experiencing many of these different emotions, and then it's not safe to experience it for this physical being that we are, because it jeopardizes our ability to receive love from the family, to receive acceptance and validation from society, whatever it is. Just wanted to bring a little bit of light as to where this is actually all coming from. You can shift at any moment into claiming and taking ownership over what is here. To shift your awareness from all of these things around you that you've been focused on now, that you've been feeding your worrying energy into, that you've been feeding, and instead realize that this situation, I can't control it. I have no power over this. And the funny thing is that me trying to control and do something about this situation is actually turning this situation into this very challenging thing that it is right now. And as long as I'm focusing on this challenging thing, continuing to do that, this challenging thing continues to be exactly what it is and continues to evolve into more challenging things. The only way to truly connect back into your power again is to recognize that this energy that is within you right now, that is the predecessor, the thing that comes before this challenge, that there is a disconnect that's been happening here with you not taking ownership over what's going on here, that you can make this shift now into being one with this, which is also going to allow it to change. Now, it is, of course, a little bit uncomfortable to come back here, because to come back here is to face the belief of the mind that I'm not good enough if I have this. But then to only realize this and to say to yourself, this is me. I am not a victim of this. I am blessed with this. This is who I am. And even though it feels a little bit uncomfortable at this moment, this was always who I was. And that the more I can give myself the permission of coming home into who I am again, the more all of these very challenging things that we're caught up in, our addictions, our means of escaping that has been creating a lot of challenges for us, all of that evaporates. It cannot exist as long as the emotional charge is no longer fueling it. It is so easy to let go of it. It happens naturally. You don't have to think about it. We struggle so hard, so many of us, for so long to try and change this pattern or this program. And then we are so focused on trying to make that change, while the change is always just waiting to happen for us when we stop trying to make the change outside of us and instead become the change by tapping into who it is that we are, because we naturally are a force of change. There is nothing that needs to be added on extra onto it, because it's already happening. Unless, of course, you stop the happening of who it is that you truly are through trying to be something that you're not. Trying to be this people pleaser, trying to be this successful person, trying to be this person that is never angry, trying to be this person who is never feeling shame, who is never feeling this. Because you naturally are all of those things. And the more that you try to not be all of those things, the more you are going to suffer. Claim it all. That's who you are. And tap into that. And you're gonna be fucking free. You're not a victim of this. You never were a victim. It only ever appeared as such because you had to survive at a stage in your life where it would appear as if I was this type of person, then I'm in danger. And at one point in your life, that was probably true. So there was never anything wrong. This mind is not evil. It's always trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you today as well. It's just that it's no longer necessary. And you gotta give yourself this permission now to move back into who it is that you are and to be brave enough to do that. And to just assume the best from this place, like I deserve to be who I am. And I'm doing it now. I am being who I am now, and I'm not looking back. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, I have my Patreon with my courses, and you can talk to me in person and others there. So I'll see you there. Bye-bye.